Welcome, everybody. You've just made the biggest decision in your life of clicking onto this video.
Oh, really?
In this video, we're going to go over the most important step-by-step process you need to know and do to get started to manage your life, build a second brain, and finally be productive. Be so efficient that even Neil deGrasse Tyson is gonna question how negative time travels only for you. As you can probably say, I have gone full mad scientist and built myself a productivity lab, complete with post-it notes, mind maps, and caffeine-induced delirium. But fear not, because today I'm going to show you how you could do it as well, how you could create your own productivity without losing your sanity or virginity. So yeah, put on your white lab coats and black undies. We shall dive in. Before moving on, there are 3 key points you should remember. The first one is don't hype it up. The information which you're gonna store in all these productivity apps is just the information you want to read at some point later in your life. It's not made to shit your pants and make it so complicated that even Einstein would die reading it. The second point to remember is that go with the most comfortable application in the world for you. It's not going to be the same for all. So if some other person comes in and says that this is comfortable for him, it doesn't mean that you want it. And finally, there are 3 types of data. The first one is basically to-do lists, tasks, and reminders, which is very dynamic and you probably every now and then. This kind of data is very short and quick and is meant so that you don't forget it over time, maybe 1 or 2 days. The second type of data is important events. These are different from tasks when it comes to the dynamicity. I don't know if that's the word, but yeah, events, unlike to-do lists, are meant to be more planned. It's important to note a difference between task and events. Task is, for example, basically you going to shopping at any given point of tomorrow, and you just want to remind yourself that you need to go to shopping and you have some stuff missing. Whereas events is you going to a trip next week from this given day to this given day, and you cannot have anything done in between these days. You plan for the exact timings, the exact things you need to do in it, and also the sub parts of it. By the way, I have to mention about this video. Obviously, I can't explain everything in productivity in this video because it's a vast topic. So I'll just be explaining the basic framework and how classic productivity is gonna work. I will be making future videos on complete productivity and also other productivity apps, which is gonna be an alternative to all the apps in this video as well, in case these apps don't fit you. Also, another thing which we need to have, which I just realized from a dear friend of mine, and this app is gonna focus on the efficiency of the work which you're doing right now. Focusing on the time invested on this specific work is very important, and for that, Focus Meter is a great application. I have used this for a very less amount of time, but for the amount of time which I have used, it has paid me off very well. It has made me focus so well that I have managed to fly away from reality, as you can see. So first off, we need a quick app to write down all our thoughts and tasks, and for that I use Google Tasks, and I think it does the job for me. It's this quick app which I could easily access in my phone, laptop, desktop, anywhere I want, and quickly write down a simple short text of what I need to do or what thought I just got. And it's free. No need to shell out some cash for Todoist when Google Task can handle my random thoughts and ideas. You could use Microsoft To Do, Todoist, and other apps as well for managing tasks, but for me, Google Task does the job. And if you are a hardcore OK user, you might not like this, and in that case I would suggest you to use tasks.org, which is open source and does the job. Next up, we have planning all the tasks which I just wrote down, and without a doubt, no surprise there, I use Google Calendar, as I had already mentioned. It's a lifesaver for me as I assign specific times for all my tasks and events, and it helps me to stay on track every day. Not to mention, Google Tasks has a very good integration with Google Calendar, which makes my life so much easier, since I could easily assign the timings of the task in the task app itself, and it will be assigned even in Google Calendar, which of course is way more productive. Now let's talk about the big stuff. Organizing longer forms of data. I meant longer documents, YouTube video scripts, articles which I write down, finance, anything which stays for a longer time when compared to just normal tasks and events. And for that, it actually depends from person to person, way more than just doing tasks and managing in calendars. It's way more volatile and complicated and completely depends on the person's profession, timing, workflow, accessories, and so on. So vast, in fact, that I have actually decided to make a whole different video on this specifically. But to make it completely short and brief, personally, I use a note-taking app called Capacity. This allows me to go ahead and create any kind of notes I want. It stores all my important documents, notes, content, and links in one place, and it uses external components to save me time. This note-taking app believes in objectifying notes, which is basically making links and connecting all sorts of external data from the internet or from local directories to make one complete page which consists of all the information you need. This perfectly matches my use case, as I usually go around the internet searching for the information which I want, and if I just want to make notes, I just either go ahead and then highlight the important parts of the website and then make a reference to that in my note-taking page so that I can just easily go to that page and read it instead of typing all the notes myself. Or if it's some important formulas or syntax which I need to remember related to my studies or coding, I would just search for the images of that in Google and just copy paste it into my note page so that I can just refer to the formulas or code whenever necessary. So there you have it, all my productivity ecosystem in a nutshell. I'll be making a better video on just note-taking itself and how to select your note-taking application and how to make the notes yourself. Of course, everybody's needs are different, so find what works for you and run with it. And if it completely fails, just remember, there's always caffeine.